Hello, I'm Camelia. Welcome back to my kitchen here at CulinaryWishes.com. Today we are going to make sweet bread filled with cocoa and nuts. For this recipe we are going to use, first for the dough, 1 kilo of flour, 7 eggs, 250 grams of butter, 100 milliliters of oil, a pinch of salt, 500 milliliters of warm milk, 300 grams of sugar, some vanilla essence, 50 grams of yeast, and for the filling we are going to use 100 grams of nuts, 25 grams of cocoa powder, 100 grams of sugar, rum essence, and 100 milliliters of milk. First of all, we have to prepare the yeast. I'm going to add the yeast in another bowl. I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar, 1 spoon of milk, mix it all very well, and add a spoon of flour and let it rise. While the yeast rises, I'm going to mix 7 egg yolks with a pinch of salt and sugar until it all gets to a creamy consistency using a mixer. And in this other bowl, I'm going to mix 4 egg whites until they get foamy. As you can see, my yeast has risen. Now I'm going to add it over the flour, which I've moved into a bigger bowl. I'm going to start mixing it and start making the dough. I'm going to add bit by bit the cream we've made with egg yolks and sugar, the egg whites and warm milk, and start mixing it very well. I finished adding the eggs, milk and flour. I'm going to keep kneading the dough for about 20 minutes. After that I'm going to add the butter, oil and vanilla essence. After I've added the oil and butter, my dough still needs some flour, and I'm going to keep adding it until it's not so sticky. My dough has the right consistency. I'm going to keep kneading it for a while. It's very important to knead it very well. I'm going to let it rise for 2-3 hours in a warm place covered with a towel, and I'm going to make sure that cold air doesn't come next to him. My dough has risen, and now I'm going to make the cream, the filling. First of all, I'm going to mince the nuts using a rolling pin and some baking sheet. Am terminat de mărunțit nuca, acum o voi adăuga peste zahăr și voi amesteca împreună cu cacaoa și laptele. I finished making the cream, and I'm going to start making the sweetbread. First of all, I'm going to sprinkle some flour on the working surface and divide the dough into 3 parts. Now, I'm going to cut in half each ball of dough and roll it into thin sheets. I finished making the first sheet. Now I'm going to take 1 spoon of cream, spread it all over the sheet and roll it. From the other half of dough, I'm going to make another sheet that I'm going to spread, cover it with cream and roll it. Now I'm going to plate the 2 rolls, making the sweetbread. The last step is to coat our sweetbread with egg yolks and put it in the preheated oven for maximum 1 hour. Our sweetbread is done. We hope you liked our recipe, and if you did, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel CulinaryWishes.com. Enjoy your meal. Bye bye! I'm going to sprinkle some flour on the working surface, and I'm going to first sprinkle some flour on the working surface and divide the dough in 3 parts. I finished. From the other half of dough, I'm going to make and put it in the preheated oven for maximum 1 hour. Our sweetbread is done.